Welcome, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you here. I want to just dive right in. Tell us, what is Shaolin?
Shaolin is something you carry inside of yourself. It's a clear mind about what we do is, especially we trying to build a strong body, but also a strong mindset. You have a strong mindset, you have a strong body. You have a strong body, you have a strong mindset. It's like not separation. You keep it together.
Yeah. Can you tell people that are listening that maybe aren't familiar with the Shaolin Temple, what the actual Shaolin Temple is, what the history of it is?
Yes, Shaolin Temple is like an old traditional Buddhist temple, like over 2,000 years old, but it became very famous since Bodhidharma came to Shaolin Temple, and he meditated in a cave for 9 years, and then he had something called enlightenment or awakening, and from there he started teaching the Zen Buddhism, in Chinese called Chan, and it's a very direct method to get the moment.
Yeah. What is Zen Buddhism, if you had to try to explain that, encapsulate what that is, what that philosophy is?
Only this.
This moment.
Yes.
Connecting to it.
Right.
Is this what is at the heart of the traditions and teachings of the Shaolin Temple, would you say?
100%.
Okay.
Without the Chan, there's no Shaolin. So for us, it's very important to understand that the Zen is the core of the Shaolin, and everything around it is just a hint to the moment.
And I know Bodhidharma also, I love the story of Bodhidharma.
Yeah.
I love the history of Shaolin. This is something I've been a fan of since childhood, just so you're aware.
Right.
Right? Like I grew up with all of the Kung Fu movies, but I also grew up like in my formative teenage years with Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang, of
right?
course.
And Wu-Tang brought Shaolin
Yeah.
into popular culture, right?
Yeah, that's when Kung Fu and hip hop came
together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
I mean, even breakdancers, like the breaking moves, they watched the Kung Fu movies in the 70s and 80s movies, so they took like some ideas out of it, you know. So also the battle, and it's always the same history. It's like somebody's weak, he got beat up or something, then he finds the master, you know, then he becomes strong, and then he take revenge. And I mean, this is like everywhere else, it's the same,
Yeah. Is this your story?
Uh,
How did you find Shaolin?
So my story is my dad was my first teacher actually,
Okay.
and he taught me more like a military style. It's a bit similar maybe to Muay Thai, I would say. It's like very direct of eliminating the enemy, let's say.
Yeah.
And but I liked the martial arts, and then of course we watched a lot of movies, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li. And it was like this. I was like 8-9 years old, and we came to Germany, and then the movies came very late in the night, you know. So I went to sleep, and I told my dad, like, please wake me up when the movie starts. So he woke me up, and then we watched the movie. And it's like this, I got more into the martial arts, and then somehow in the movies they talked about Shaolin, and then my dad also told me, it's like, yeah, that's like the origin of all martial arts. You know, it's like for some people it is, some people not, but for that time for me it was like, yeah, Shaolin is like, this is the origin of all martial arts, I want to learn this.
Yes.
And then I found my way later, like when I was 20, I found the Shaolin Temple Europe, and from there my journey with the Shaolin started.
Wow. Yeah. So I want to take a step back again.
Yes.
So in the history, Bodhidharma was said to bring the martial arts practices to the Shaolin Temple. Is that correct?
I'm not sure 100% about this, because mainly he was supposed to bring like the Buddhism in general to Shaolin Temple. Not that they didn't have Buddhism, but it's always like different dynasties that brought another sort of teaching or sutras or whatever.
Yeah.
And he figured out that his students that were meditating for a long time, they got kind of like, the body was more like not active enough. So he started to give them the he call the I Jing and Si Sui Jing. So it's like Qigong movements. And I guess they copied back in the past. They copied also a lot of animal. That's why you have a lot of animal styles, and it makes sense. I mean, it's like they had to also protect themselves. You know, the temple, they came, people try to rob them, or even in the nature they have animals. Also, they had maybe had to fight them or something. So they created the martial arts like in this way. So it's not. He probably was able to fight already when he came from India, because I think the Bodhidharma, his family were already warriors. Yeah. So he definitely brought some martial art for sure.
And I love this idea of like warrior monks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that, right? Because for people, a lot of times people think of a warrior and they think of someone that is violent, and then a monk is someone that's peaceful, right?
Right.
So can you talk to me a little bit about that, about the balance of those two things and what that means to you?
To me, it's clear. Like we call it in Chinese, they say, Gui Shou Fu Shin is a demon hand, but Buddha's heart. Means even we train our bodies to become a weapon, inside the internal is peaceful. Like Buddha is like the first thing, like the soft heart. So you have to keep that inside for sure. Like never change. Even you can do something. You can do something to this person or destroy somebody. You know, you say no. You choose the peaceful way. So this is also, you have to be like a warrior mindset. Is clear that when you try, let's say when you try to be a strong person, but it's stronger to not use it. Yes.
This is a big part of the essence of what it means to be a warrior, right?
Yes.
To be the protector, right? But also to have the strength, the ability to avoid the combat.
Definitely,
right?
yes.
Right?
Yes.
To do everything that you can to avoid it, because you know once you engage in it, it's everything. You're going all in,
Yes.
right? Tell me a little bit about what that experience was like when you first arrived in the Shaolin Temple, right? What was that like for you?
So the first in China or in Shaolin Temple Europe?
When you first your first exposure, your first experience in the Shaolin Temple, whichever one it was.
So Shaolin Temple Europe, back then it was still a small school. It was not like today. Today, like since Shi Hangyi, he became very famous, and then it grew to a bigger temple. But before it was like a small Shaolin school, and they had this grandmaster he was from America. He's an Afro-American green dragon martial artist. He was, I guess, military, and his name was Frankie Dao. And I have to be honest, he was a very good teacher, especially for the martial arts. And yeah, the journey started with him. So the first time I entered there, he was very serious. This man was like, and then he checked me, he showed me, do this. I tried to train and do all the stuff as good as possible. And then he always kept saying, like, it's a long journey to Shaolin Temple. Like, it's a long journey to Shaolin Temple. Yeah, but yeah, it helped me. He made me very strong,
And what is the training like when someone arrives there at the Shaolin Temple? Walk me through what a day is like there.
So, specific to training, we say, first you learn how to stand, then you learn how to walk, then you learn how to run, then you learn how to jump, then you learn how to fly. So it has a structure and system for sure, but you go through hell. It's a hardcore training. You have to. It's no other way around. You need to. Sometimes we stand there for 15 minutes in one pose, and your body's shaking. Everything is shaking. You're sweating, but you have to go through it. And this is what builds up the internal power. And a daily life, like in the Shaolin Temple, we wake up very early. We start meditation. Then we have like a little ceremony, Buddhist ceremony. Then we do breakfast together all. Then we start the morning training. It's like from 9 to 11 is 2 hours training. Most of the time, like qigong, running, some basic training, basic stances, basic kicks, and all that stuff. Then you have work from 11 till 1. Then you have lunch. Then you have a break from 2 hours, and then 3 to 5 is another training, and from 7 to 9 is another training. Then it's evening ceremony. Then you go to bed.
Wow.
Every day.
Yeah.
Just Sunday is maybe free day.
So a very disciplined life. So
Very
discipline is an
disciplined, yeah.
important
But
component.
we say like, you know, if you want to be free, you have to be disciplined.
Yeah. Freedom and discipline
Yeah.
are deeply connected, right?
Right.
Can you go a little bit deeper on that? Can you explain that?
For example, in the past, I was like very unorganized, and I would try to live the way I wanted to live. But in the same time, I was actually not free because a lot of things I couldn't even do. But now, since I have the structure from the Shaolin Temple, they taught me how to, you know, have to be more disciplined in some things. I get to my goal, what I really wanted, you know, and this is the freedom. But before, I thought like, yeah, I live in a day like this, I live in a day like that. And sometimes it did feel good, but most of the time, it backfired because you actually didn't go nowhere. You was just circling around. And now it's like clear, I have to do something to get what I want. Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, I love this concept, right? For me, it's something that's been very important that I always share is that discipline equals freedom.
Yeah.
And it's a paradox. Some people think like, no, discipline means you're trapped. No, discipline means you are building the inner power that you talked
Right.
about, right? The strength, starting to learn how to control the mind. And this gives you the ability to start to expand.
Expand and
right?
open up, yes.
Yeah.
True.
And to move towards the edge, right?
Exactly.
The edge in your life, all
Yes.
the places that are scary.
Right.
But to be able to hold the ground, to be able to see clearly in those spaces, and that's where you grow. That's where the growth
Yeah,
happens.
you will hit the uncomfortable zone for sure. Especially in Shaolin Temple, also they put you every day in just standing in horse stance.
Yeah.
After 5 minutes, you think like, okay, I'm dying,
Yeah.
but you go through it, and this is what builds up from internal, the inner fire, I call it.
Yeah. So
For me, this is important. Also, when I see my teacher Shifu Yanlei, shout out to Shifu Yanlei, this guy, if he kick, he kick. If he punch, he punch. It's always 100%.
yeah,
And I ask him like, yeah, why you always keep so strong your training? Like, why you have to go all in? And he say, maybe this is because this is what you love to do, and you never know when it stops. You know, so better do it now, 100%. You know.
tell me about what practices, techniques, or what the language is in the mind for you when you get to that edge. When you're in the horse stance for 10, 20 minutes and you start breaking, right, and you want to give up. Talk to me about that moment for you, because I know this training is about putting you there, right?
Yes. So first of all, movements always happening in the moment, and when you're in a position where it's very hard for you to keep it up, and you feel like, okay, now I'm losing the power and I'm gonna break. It starts with the breathing. So the breathing is the gate into the superpower, I would say.
Yeah.
Because that's when you start controlling. That's when you really are there at this moment, and then you can go through hell. Yeah, it's like you have
So
to
you breathe your way through hell.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah. You've mentioned a few times this superpower, this inner fire, right? Talk to me about that. What is that? What is it that you're connecting to? What does it feel like when you are connected to that?
First of all, you're always in a connection of your internal power. It's just some people not exposed to certain situations, or if they're exposed to certain situations, they start panic, or their mind is all over the place, so they cannot focus on this one point. And for me, like through the martial arts practice, you have so many situations where you have to go through this, and I think when in the moment you get to this uncomfortable zone, like everything shuts down around it. You're just in this zone, and then from there, you can have this ability to really take the last power that you have inside you and make it grow. Yes.
Is this chi?
In Chinese, I would say chi, maybe prana in
yeah.
yogi people, or depends. Yeah, I don't know. It's like magnetic force or whatever.
Yeah.
It's something is inside us. We know. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
There is something. Yeah, there is something.
So you're describing like this physical, challenging practice, right? But we're ultimately developing something inside of us. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that from a Shaolin perspective, right? Like, what is it we are trying to develop? How do we start to develop it? Not just in this temple. How do people in everyday life, right?
It starts with presence. Like, it starts with understanding that past and future is just not existing. You're always in the now, right now. So whatever hits you at this moment, if you're clear, you don't interpret into your thoughts and things, and you can focus on really like what's happening right now, and then you can keep your calm or whatever. But if you don't have, if this starts shaking, that's where the issues come, and then that's when you break. Yeah. But if you find this, nothing can shake you, nothing.
Are there specific techniques that they've shown you that have worked for you?
It comes suddenly. Of course, there's techniques. Everything can be a technique. Just sitting here talking to you is already a technique.
Yeah.
So everything can be a hint to it. But not everybody will get it at this moment right now. But if you keep going, it will come. Don't chase it. It's there already. You are in. It's the gateless gate, we call it.
Yeah. Don't chase it.
Don't chase it.
Why don't chase it? Tell me why.
There is nothing to chase. There's nothing to chase. You are already complete. It's like this superpower is always there. You can tell it's there.
Yeah.
But you cannot stay there. It's like between every word is a pause, is an emptiness. This is it. Try to stay there. Find this and stay there.
It's also very interesting that it's something that can be cultivated, connected to through many disciplines and many practices, right? But when you try to pull it up, when you chase it, right?
Yeah, then
it doesn't happen.
You're gone already.
It doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
You have to allow it to come, because it's here. Like you said, it's already inside of us. So the techniques and the practices are about essentially clearing all of the thoughts and stories in the mind so that it can come to the surface.
Right.
Right?
It's already there.
It is here. It is here. But it's buried for many people, and many people aren't connected to it, right?
True.
A lot of people have become numb, and they're trapped in states of fear, anxiety, right? And when you're in those states of fear and anxiety, you're constricting. And when you're constricting, you can't access it, right? It's like the light is buried.
Yeah, we say also like there's this idea of, when the cow or the bison, when the storm comes, there's two different ways. Like the cow runs away, and the storm will catch up anyway. So they run with the storm at the end of the day, more with the storm for a longer time. The bison goes through. So we say, sit and go through it. Go through hell.
Yeah.
Die right now.
Yeah. Talk to me about fear. Fear. We all experience fear, right?
Yes.
It's how you engage with it in those moments. We're all going to have moments that are scary in life. It's part of the human experience. How do you meet those moments?
I mean, every time is different. Depends on what situation you're in. Even just last time, I was surfing and the wave got me spinning like I don't know how many times. But at this moment, I didn't know where it's up and down no more. But I was under the water, and somehow I felt very quiet. I was just there, and then I let it happen. And then through like this having this focus on being calm, everything solved by itself. So there was no fear no more. It's just if you not clear about this and you start shaking, that's when the fear comes. So actually fear doesn't exist. If you like go deeply into understanding this, there is no fear.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion, yes.
You're creating a story in your mind of what may happen, right?
Exactly.
So you're trapped in an illusion. But many people right now are deeply, deeply trapped in that state, that constant state of fear, right?
Yes, as
continuously and constantly. That's what's happening to us on a bigger level culturally, right? We're all getting hit with these constant stories that are meant to create fear, create anger, all of these darker emotions. So there's a lot of people that are continuously in that state.
Right.
Do you see that?
It starts with their thoughts also, like however, what concepts they go through in their mind and believe and they attach to this and identify with it will make them like more fearful for sure. Like they will get anxiety, depression, or whatever they call it. It's like many names for everything, but end of the day, it's not. It's just you making it up. You have to be clear about this.
How do we start to help someone that can't see what you're saying? Because when you're deep in the fear and you're trapped in it, in the anxiety and in the depression, you can't see anything else, right? And it feels like you're drowning in it, right? If you had to try to help someone slowly come out of that, right?
Let them do some physical movement, like physical exercises, movements, or sit them down and just let them sit. Doesn't matter the environment. It's not like people say, oh, now I need like a nice nature environment to keep myself calm. Other people say, I'm in the city, cars everywhere, music, loud music, people, and they cannot sit and just be. So they have to find this, just to be. Doesn't matter the environment, whatever is around you. It's not this. This is only in your mind that bothers you all the time. Like the fly that keeps coming to your face while you meditate, for example. And it keeps bothering you. Oh, sorry, hit the microphone. You know, this is like, no, just be. That's it.
This, for me, is one of the foundational elements of being a warrior, is accepting what is.
Yes.
Which is very challenging for people, right?
100%.
They have an idea of how they think it should be, their life, everything, how society should be, right? How other people should behave. And this causes all of the internal struggle, right? And it's hard. It takes humility and it takes courage to accept. It's both of those things.
Right.
It's humility, right? Being humble enough to say, wait, there's something more powerful happening here. There's deep ancient wisdom in this unfolding of reality, right?
Yes.
We are in the eternal now that is connected to the sacred, right?
Exactly.
So there is deep wisdom, and being humble enough to say, you know, it's not how I think it should be, but then also courage enough to see it as it is.
Yes.
The things that may seem scary, all of that, right? And accepting what is.
Right. Yeah, it's like if the people are in a good situation, they can maybe enjoy. But if they come into an uncomfortable situation, and which you cannot control, you can try to change the situation. If you cannot change the situation, then you have to change something in you. What else can you do? There's nothing else. So the acceptance, like to accept the situation how it is a big thing for a warrior, for sure.
And then from there, understanding what action you can take, right?
Yes.
Seeing as it is, and then what actions can we take from there? Yeah.
Yep.
You also said something about the external world, that people need it to be perfect. They have to be in nature. It has to be totally quiet, right? And that's something I talk about a lot too, is that the biggest strength for me is cultivating that inner space, that inner garden of Zen that cannot be affected by the outside world, right?
Correct.
That is deep, deep inside of me, that it doesn't matter if the outside world is on fire. Right?
Yeah.
We are in this place of like stillness and calm, and we can see it with clarity, right? We can see everything clearly, and we're anchored in that strength, in that like tranquility. And this is for me what is so fascinating about all of these practices, that martial arts to many people seems just like a physical practice, but we're actually forging and molding the spirit and the mind, right? That's the deeper part of it that is ultimately what's happening.
Yes.
And that's why what you said also, you said, when I asked you, you said if someone needs to get out of their fear, is movement.
Yeah.
Physical movement, right? Physical movement.
Yeah.
Just walking, running, training. Physically moving your body, because when you're trapped in that fear, it's not just emotional experience, it starts to become a physical experience.
Yes.
Right? You start to constrict, right? You start to get trapped. Some people are curled up in their apartments in a ball, right? Just terrified and scared. So the physical movement, breaking free of that.
Right.
And then the breath. And then the breath.
Breath is the key, for sure. But also, like, it even, this is just one way to get to the mind, but the end is also, what is if you cannot move anymore? Just an example,
course,
yeah? Then it's still, like, the warrior mindset is what keeps you understanding everything, because, yeah, even without the body, it's there, you know?
It's so interesting you said that. So one of the most important periods of my life, of my training, was when I lost the ability to use my body.
Yeah.
I suffered a severe concussion, like really bad. I was bedridden. I couldn't get out of bed. And at the time I was training, I was competing in mixed martial arts. I felt like it was the strongest I ever was.
Right.
And then I was training for an MMA fight, and I suffered a serious concussion. And I was trapped in my body.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't move. I couldn't have lights on.
Yeah.
No music. I was struggling to speak, right? So the physical body wasn't working
Wasn't
anymore.
there. Yeah.
And then I had to go back in with the breath and start to reconnect to it,
Yes.
to that fire, and awaken it with something more subtle, with a different kind of tool. Before, I was so reliant on this physical body to awaken it, right? And that was the greatest gift that ever came to me. At the time, initially, I thought it was like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I've lost everything, right?
Yeah.
And but it turned out to be such a beautiful gift because it gave me the opportunity to start to work on those more subtle things. And eventually I started to be able to awaken it more powerful than I ever did before.
Right.
Just with the breathing, right?
Great.
And that changed my whole concept of what it meant to be a human being, what this human experience is,
Yes.
what's possible, what's inside of all of us, right? Inside of everyone, deep, deep down inside.
Yeah, and people need to hear exactly this. Exactly this. Yes.
It's here, right?
Yeah.
It's here in all of us. You also mentioned a few things. You talked about death, right? What is your relationship with death?
I mean, if you identify with the body and your thoughts, then death exists.
Yeah.
But if you not attached to this, then this is infinite.
What is this? Explain that further, right? Because most people are here they're terrified of death because they're like, me, my ego, who I am, I don't want to die, my name, my body, my family, my career, all of these things.
I mean, these are identifications you give yourself. Like, you identify with who you think you are, but who you really are, this is what you got to find. And once you have this, then you understand what I'm talking about.
Who are you really then? If you are not your name, if you are not your career, and you are not your body, who are you then? What is underneath?
This. I cannot describe it like in words, or I cannot show you where it is. I cannot even point at it.
Yeah.
But it's there all the time.
Yeah.
It never came, it never left.
How did you find it? Did you always have it, or did
No.
you find it?
No, maybe there was small moments in life where I could clearly see through, and then maybe it faded away, or, but since I'm practicing the Shaolin martial arts and I have the one Korean teacher, shout out to him, he has his YouTube channel, if you can check it out, this is Zeon, and Zeon is the Korean word for Zen or Chan, and he kind of gave me the guidance, and it comes suddenly. For me, it was like I had to wake up, I went to the toilet, and something happened, boom. And since then, I would describe it like this: my head is very light. There's no more this pressure inside or from outside. It's like one, no separation. Yeah, it sounds crazy. For some it sounds like very awakening. So, I'm not the one to judge it. Yeah. It just happened, and since then I'm not also even try to find this moment again or whatever. But I remember when I was 13, I had something similar, and someone told me something, and that's when I also, with 13, it already started. And that's also when I started my journey actually to look into these deeper spiritual understandings. Yeah.
So, if you are not like fully connected and believing that this body is everything, what do you believe lies beyond it?
Everything. It's like it's nothing but everything. There's no up and down. It's just is. It's like no white, black, or whatever. It's no duality. It's like it just is. and it's very hard to really try to describe it in words, but I'm sure everyone can get it at this moment because that's all we have right now.
And this experience, this connection for you has allowed you to transcend the fear of death, would you say? Or
For
have
sure.
a different relationship with death?
Yes and no. Yes, it's like I know of like the physical body or my environment, everything is constantly in a change or ends one day. But nothing can end that never started also. So this never came, never left. It's just the physical body and this will go.
Yeah.
So yes,
It's a
maybe not
challenging-
very clear for some people to understand, but I'm sure there will be some that will get it, and it comes suddenly. Just don't chase it. Don't just be.
Yeah, it's a challenging experience or concept to put into words, right? It's very, very difficult to put into this container of
Very
words.
difficult.
Right?
Actually, not difficult, but it's difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the concept of eternity, you kept saying, you said there's no start and there's no end. That's the challenging part, right? Because our minds are programmed to believe everything has a start and an end.
Yeah, you just said it. It's programmed.
Yeah.
It's
a
what
program.
you identify with, but if you don't, then
Yeah, it's this is one of the deepest parts of what I try to share with people when they're ready, right? I feel like a lot of people will start at the most basic level. Let's start to control the thoughts and stories in the mind. Recognize that your fears and all of these things are illusions and get you into the moment. And then, you know, we slowly work our way to understanding that
yes,
ultimately we are eternal beings.
yes and
Yes.
no.
Yes and no, right?
Yes.
We are connected to this eternal happening. There's an
Yes.
eternal energy unfolding, right?
I agree with that.
Sacred energy.
Yes,
It's impossible to describe what it actually is. You can't put it into any words.
but it's there.
It's there. It's
Right
here.
now.
It's the source of everything. It's here
Yes.
right now in this
Yes.
physical space. It's always here. And it's what lies beyond this physical realm.
Yes,
and maybe
beyond.
this
It's
physical-
beyond. Yes.
It's beyond all of it. And this, for me, how I experience it is that this physical world emerges out of it. We're part of it, right? That this physical world emerges out of it. And that all of us beings are also emerging out of it. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. Also, it's a forever, eternal, unfolding mystery as well, right? It's it's a continual
most.
unfolding mystery that's continuously happening. So it's also having the humility that when we're trying to talk about this thing,
Yeah.
it's impossible to.
You cannot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting. It's very interesting to kind of.
So it's
understand.
kind of like letting go also from this concept or idea of what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
let it be.
Just let it be.
Yeah.
Just be.
Just be.
Yeah.
Just be.
Nice.
Tell me about some of your teachers and training partners, I guess, that you've been able, that have taught you the most, that have had the most impact on you.
Yeah,
you know,
so
Shaolin Temple.
At Shaolin Temple, my Grandmaster Shifu Yanlei, he's based in UK, but he mostly teaches private or have online programs. And he is original from Shaolin Temple, China. He born in a desert area in China, and then he came as a kid with his brother Shifu Yanzi, very young. They became monks. And Shifu Yanlei has a way of teaching is always combat based. It's always warrior based. So he has the iron shirt. He has all the combat techniques, and he traveled around, practiced like ground fighting, Muay Thai, whatever, all this. But also the Chinese kickboxing, Sanshu, very strong in China. And his way of teaching is very direct. You know, it's not. He doesn't try to make it look like special or beautiful or whatever, or this or fancy. No, he just straight to the point. And Lei means actually thunder, and when you see this guy doing his movements, then you clearly see it's thunder, you know, like very strong personality, but also very simple. And he only speaks very clear about things that happened in his life, you know, so he doesn't have to take ideas from somewhere that he read or learned or something. No, he just been through it, and that's what he talk about, and then you can connect with it very fast. And the other teacher I have is Tema Jun, or aka is Master Nim. It's a Korean master. He also traveled to China. He stayed in China for years, meditating also in Bodhidharma's cave.
Wow.
And then I think he moved around worldwide, doing his thing. And he also said, yes, suddenly, you know, now he's a Zen master, bus driver also, to earn his money to live. Give retreats also at the Shaolin Temple. And he's the one that leads me into, you know, give me the right guidance for everything about Chan, Zen. Yeah.
Are there specific meditation practices that you've learned in the Shaolin Temple?
Yes, until you understand actually what meditation is. And then
Tell us.
This is meditation right now. There is no specific technique. You can find a way into it because somebody tell you, yeah, you sit down, breathe, focus on your breathing, whatever, all this stuff, yes. But you can do that for years and nothing happens. But once you clear about it, you don't have to meditate. Just meditate. That's it.
Did they have techniques that they showed you to bring you to that realization?
I mean, yes and no, because even just a ceremony of bowing down to Buddha is already meditation. Brushing your teeth, eating, all this is meditation. So meditation is not meditation. But for some people that have some concept of it, an idea of it, and brings his own way of teaching, might stuck to exactly this concept. And I can't judge like it's good or not good. It just is. So they use this and it's fine. For some people it works. But I say, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's being fully present here, connected to
Yes.
this moment, right? Every moment becomes the meditation.
Yes.
Every moment.
Every moment.
But you must be fully here, right?
You are fully here.
Here physically, but a lot of people are not here in the mind, right? They're somewhere else. They're worried, right? Their stories are running, so they're not fully here. Their body may be physically here,
yes,
right?
You're right.
But their mind is somewhere else. They're worried about what's going to happen then, or what happened in the past, and they're trapped in
But
those
even
places.
then, I mean, even you have the thoughts.
Yeah,
There's something there still.
of course.
Still.
Of course.
And it's very still also. And it's there. It will switch one day. It will, boom, and then you're always there.
Do you think that experience is accessible for everyone in this lifetime?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. Do you also think that some people may have to go through many lifetimes to find it?
Yes and no, because it's again like a concept of many lives. You know, what
Yeah.
is life, what is death,
Yeah.
also. But yes, I get it. By karmic idea of how Buddhists think, there is like a after, like another life or another life and another life. It's possible that you have to go through many lives.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is very for a lot of people not very clear and understandable. It's just a karmic activity that keeps going, living through another person maybe, but it's not you as this, like what you see now, this will not be reborn.
It's the consciousness, maybe? The energy?
Yeah, something like this,
Something
because
that's-
it's hard to describe. Even I cannot describe
Yeah.
it because I don't want to say something wrong, but see it like whatever activity you had, whatever action, there is a reaction to it. Maybe not in this lifetime, but in the next lifetime.
Yes.
And who gets it, you don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't separate, like, then me and you is like the same, you know. So the next human born can get this karma from what I was living today. something like, let's say like this. But like I said, I don't want to go into deep in these ideas because it's still concepts.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like talking about these ideas.
Yeah.
I know.
I know. You told me, yeah, and which is cool.
Yeah.
You can, why not?
Yeah.
For some people, maybe it gives them some hint, you know.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But I try to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah. No. But at the essence of it, it has to be as simple as possible, right? The essence
Maybe,
of it
yeah.
is
Yeah.
right now, this
Yeah.
moment, every time, right? That's
Yeah.
where we're ultimately trying to land here.
Mm.
We're here already, but trying to bring people fully into it.
Yeah.
And this moment right now also can become very rich and very deep, right? The sacred is here right now.
Mm.
The sacred is here
Yes.
right now. A lot of people feel disconnected from that, right?
Yeah, that's why I think it's also nice that we have teachers like Shifu Yanlei, Shi Hang Yi, Master Nim, that can, you know, give some idea out. And, you know, I'm also on my way somehow to teach people and bring something that can help them. And this is important. Before I was like, maybe I don't want to do this, but now it just comes to me. So I just do it.
Yeah.
It's okay this way, yeah.
This is the path that's opening for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I let it happen. Like we said, we accept.
Yeah. Tell me, how would you advise people to face failure or setbacks, right? Even though those things are still concepts and illusions,
Right.
How would you advise people to meet those moments in their lives?
That's a good one. So, in my experience, when I failed, it's always like I understood something happened, and how can I change it? Then I try to look deep inside of myself, see what can I change to make things better, you know. And it always comes with the kind of with the same idea of, you know, keep your cool, breathe through, stand up and keep going, and build this strong mindset that you need to, you know, withstand every situation in life. But also, I would say I'm kind of like a lazy person, so I have to trick myself. So this is maybe something that people would like the way I teach, because I try to be playful with it. So because I used to teach a lot of kids. Since 20 years I teach kids, and I see how they like to play to understand things. So for me it's the same way. Like I try to not take everything too serious, and yes, mistakes happen, but you go through it, you stand up, you keep going, you make it better. So yeah, play with it.
Yeah. A lot of times people get stuck in a failure.
Yeah.
Right? And they get trapped by it. But all of the failures, every time, we can use combat, because that's one of the best, rawest forms.
For us, yes, we are coming from the combat sport. We have a connection to this and get very fast into, you know, learn and change things.
Losing in combat,
Yeah.
it can be is one of the best things that can happen to you if you understand how to grow from it, right? Because it shows you, right? If you beat me, it shows me places where I was maybe unaware that I had weaknesses, that I had holes, right? And for some people, they shrink in that moment, but it's also an opportunity to start to recognize, wow, this is an opportunity for me to develop this, to grow this, to become something different, to start to expand and grow.
Yeah, but this is the experience each person have a unique experience and understanding of it. So it's hard to judge and to say, yeah, you know. But on a deeper level, even if it's always a game of ego, because on a deeper level, even if you was the one that beat everybody, that means you only had weaker opponents.
Yes.
But
for sure.
Yeah, so there's always a learning for sure. Yeah.
For me, that's what I've taken major losses in many different ways. I've lost everything many different times in my life.
Same here, yeah.
Right? And in the moment, it's very hard to make sense of it, to understand why.
Yeah, because actually you never lost anything. Yeah. Also, you never gain anything. But we hope to believe in these things or try to be stuck in these things. But yeah, actually, yeah, it just is. And you accept, and this is the warrior. The warrior is present.
Is there anything that one final message? I know you've shared a lot of wisdom here that you would like to share for people out there right now. For people right now that are struggling, right? For people right now that are struggling, that are suffering in life right now for whatever reason it might be, right? There are people that are going through really hard, challenging times in life. What would your message be to them?
Know that you are complete, and everyone can find peace if you figure out who you are, who you truly are, without the thoughts and identification of what you think you are. That's it.
That's it. Perfect.
That's it.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
I
you
appreciate
also.
you.
Thank you also.
Thank you.